Welcome in GPS to God. Glad all of you are back with us. It's feels like it's been a long time, but it's just been a week. We haven't even had a vacation on this side, but glad you're here. We have tonight Mr. Zach Edson and Mr. Brandon Shanks with us. Welcome, fellas.
Glad to be here. Another week.
Stefano Patterson, Daniel Sanders on this side of the table.
Yes, sir.
We kicked Ryan out. He didn't do too good last week, so he's on a timeout.
That was one of his better weeks.
How do you choose the subject? Like he chose Job.
He-
I mean, how do you choose
Already
Job?
talked about
and
that,
then like 3 weeks in, he's dipping.
yeah.
Come on, man.
To his
Come
credit,
on, Rye.
I had to stand up for the little guy here.
The little guy.
He is
Dom.
supporting his family tonight. He has some family obligations he has to help out with. So I will say he made the right choice.
Look
Yeah,
at Rye.
He made the right choice.
He's a smart man.
Yeah.
Proud of him.
Yeah. So if not, he would be calling one of us to sleep on the couch. But we're glad you're here. Like Stefano said, we're continuing on with our study of Job. This is week number 3 of this study, and man, we're plugging along here. But before we get to that, got some goodness to share. Several episodes ago, Miss K.L. Gilchrist came on, author, and look what we got in the mail. She sent us an autographed copy of one of her books, Broken Together.
Autographed.
And
Wow.
Check that out. So personalized and everything. So
That's awesome.
thank you very much, KL. If you missed that episode, go check it out. Get on the old Google machine and find some of her books. KL Gilchrist. She has several books out there. You will enjoy it, I'm sure. So we'll put that on the bookshelf.
Running out of space.
Well, one day we can get rid of the generic stuff we still have, and we'll have all, stuff that we have acquired through guests and whatnot. But yeah, absolutely, this will get prime real estate on the bookshelf.
It'll look good right over here. Get rid of that LSU Tiger thing.
Yeah,
Since Ryan missed tonight, we can get rid of that and put that up there.
I bet he would not even notice for several episodes.
He doesn't even know that's back there.
It came with the bookcase.
Right, exactly.
But thank you very much, KL, for that gift, and we will definitely put that up in prime position. You'll see it for many episodes to come, I'm sure.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
All right. Book of Job, where do we leave off? Well, first, let's say welcome back to Zach, because he was here the first week, and I don't know if he got nervous or what, but he bailed out after that.
I'm going to go along the same path as Ryan, that I wasn't told that I need to be home, but it was highly suggested.
Yeah. Well,
You can say told.
No.
You can say told.
I mean,
It's all right.
The look that she was giving me tonight.
It's all right.
yeah. His lovely wife, Amanda, poked her head in the studio not long ago, and she kind of said she's a Job expert, so we
I heard
expect
that.
her.
I'd bring her in next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think she's
We
done that
expect
same
her.
precept with Lori. I think they both
Get them both.
done that.
Oh,
Yeah, we
There you go.
expect one or both of them to be on here,
Yeah.
pretty shortly and help us cover this study here.
Yeah.
I mean, at this pace, this will be 5, 6, 8 weeks. We're in chapter 8.
We are in chapter 8.
yes. It's going
8 of 40.
Yeah.
2, I think. 42.
I think we'll probably be a quarter of the way through the book tonight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
Probably.
only 2
I hope.
chapters.
That's exactly right.
So,
High expectations.
Hey, I got enough notes to chapter 14, so we're good to go here.
all right. Well,
I think I do.
Brandon came prepared.
I did.
But-
I went to 20.
Like,
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I've been at 13, and then I didn't know what kind of pace you were going to pick up tonight.
Well, I mean, it's just depends on the discussion. None of it is laid out by a script. These papers I have in front of me are blank. So
Just for optics.
Oh, boy.
Just for optics.
that's for notes there. But they do have. These are actually my notes from the first week. So just turn them over. And I got writing paper right here next to me. I have paper from months ago when whoever we interviewed. But I like to recycle around here. Good for the environment and good for your listening enjoyment or watching if you're on YouTube. But we are going to pick up the pace a little bit and condense some of these middle chapters because we just don't want to read every word to be honest. But it gets a little repetitive, and we want you to stay with us. We don't want you to go away. Tell your friends.
That's right.
So we're going to back up a little bit. We started to say, Zach, welcome back. He was with us the first episode, missed last one, back for number 3, and maybe we'll get him again.
Man, that's 2 out of 3. I mean, that's like 66%. It's failing in class, but you're an all-star baseball player.
Oh no, that's above Hall of Fame in baseball. But
he would throw numbers out there.
Yeah. But Brandon is with us. He's jumping right in on this moving train.
Oh boy, yeah. Let's do it though. I'm ready.
Let's do it. I'm not going to say he was my number 2 phone call, but we're not going to call out the person who said no.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get there, whoever that person is.
Yes.
I wanted to back up a little bit. Some notes I had from listening to those other episodes. One of my notes, I was not detailed enough, so I wrote kind of the theme, but I don't know where I was going with that. But we're going to go to another question. These middle chapters, so the stuff we're going through right now, this was all written as poems. So like the first 2 chapters and the last 2 chapters are kind of different. They're a narrative story kind of. All these middle chapters are poems. So get a little repetitive if you're writing, 38 chapters worth of poems there.
Yeah.
That'd be rough.
We did say that in the first episode. Just a reminder.
Yeah.
But too, we were talking about the timing of things and how long these things took. So it came to me again, God and Satan had a discussion. God let Job go, or God let Satan go, do some damage to Job. And then he came back and they had another discussion. And it didn't hit me in the moment, but what was the length of time between those 2 discussions? We talked a little bit about maybe how long did it take, but from the time that God let Satan go and, do what you want to Job, just don't touch his body. And then they had another conversation later. Well, now you can touch his body, just don't kill him. How long? I don't have an answer for that.
Well, you said
wasn't that over
last
2 years?
Last week you said the whole thing the entire chapter was like 2 weeks, right?
The entire book of Job.
2 years.
Yeah, that's a rolling 2 weeks. Right
Yeah.
there.
My goodness gracious, mercy.
Yeah, up to 2 years is
Right.
one of the commentaries I read from the entire book of Job, from the time he's introduced and then Satan attacks him until the time God kind of comes and restores him was maybe 2 years.
Gotcha.
But we talked about if it's 6 months between those conversations, or is it 6 days? Would you rather have all that happen to you at once, or you start to get over the loss you had in the first attack? And
That's tough, man.
it is tough.
It is.
Because if it's like, so now that we're into the discussion part of the book, where it's Job and his 3 friends going back and forth, like if that's just conversations that kind of play out in real time, that's not going to take very long. So if the book took 2 years, it might have been a while between events.
True.
I don't know.
When they sat there, for 7 days in silence?
Yeah.
I still can't even imagine 2 years
No.
of all those things occurring.
So just some things I went back, and maybe I'm raising more questions than I should.
No such thing.
But
Get those women up here, they'll know.
that's right.
Oh. No comment.
Let it fly. Let it fly. It'll be fine. We're not going to put anything out there that we don't think is funny.
Oh, boy.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Daniel.
Well, we're going to pick up in chapter 8. That's where we left off last time. And we left off, Job was kind of cursing the day he was born. And, he was in the my life has no hope state of mind. And that's kind of where he was going. And he had heard from his friend Eliphaz. Eliphaz kind of was the first to speak after Job spoke. They sat around together for a week in silence. Job finally spoke up, and Eliphaz kind of gave his point of view. Job spoke again, and now we're picking up with Bildad.
Oh, Bildad.
Bildad is going to give his opinion of events here, his take on it, and it's a little bit, I don't know, when I kind of read this, it's kind of you could read it in two tones almost. Like, it's almost like he is kind of being mocking of Job a little bit, or it's kind of like he is being, trying to use analogies and give examples of, hey, here's the truth, but you're kind of perverting the truth to what you think it is. So just to start, we're not going to read verse by verse like we have been doing. We're going to kind of just hit highlights and notes that we found interesting. But to start it off, Bildad says, how long, this is verse number 2, how long will you say these things? So Job has been in that woe is me kind of thing, the bitterness of his soul. But Bildad says, how long will you say these things, and the words of your mouth be a great wind? Yeah. It's like, dude, I mean, you're just all, blowing the hot air.
Yeah.
Blowing the hot air. And then, does God pervert justice? So kind of the same thing we talked about earlier was you can take some elements of truth and twist it to what you want it to
get your narrative across.
To say.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I'm not saying he's doing this or not doing this, but that's kind of the two tones that you can read. Is he kind of twisting this to fit his narrative or not? And Job has an opinion about it later.
Yes, he does.
And he kind of starts off, Eliphaz he starts off, like you said, a different tone. Bildad kind of seems annoyed.
Yes.
That's the thing that I draw out of it at first was that he seemed, which I guess he is because he's heard Job and then Eliphaz and Job's rebuttal, and now he's saying his piece. So,
well, it's just like us. If the four of us are sitting around talking, and if I'm the Job character and I'm saying woe is me, this and that,
he would pick that he's Job.
No, well, I mean, I wasn't saying that as a good thing or bad thing.
It's because you're 3.
Yeah.
So we're
taking it back.
So are you, Zach, I think.
We got to bring Andrew
battle of
and,
the threes.
Yeah.
Andrew and Brooke back in to explain that more. But it doesn't really matter. But if I was Job and I'm saying, woe is me, you guys, all this is happening to me, Stefano chimes in and is like, hey, remember who you are, remember who brought you through this. And then I go back at him again, and I'm like, you don't understand. This is how terrible it is. Well, Brandon may chime in and be like, all right, man, look, I'm tired of listening to this.
How long will you go on saying these things?
How long is this great wind going to be coming out of your mouth? Fill your belly with the wind of the east or whatever he says. But yeah, I got that same impression of the annoyance.
Yes.
It's like, all right, man, I've had enough of this.
But that next sentence there where he speculates about his kids, of like that's why they were killed off, right? And I'm thinking for him to make that assumption, that's a far leap out there.
Yeah, he turns accusatory a little bit of if your kids had sinned, well, they should be delivered over by God. Like, don't try and defend them.
Right.
And if you are pure and upright, then surely he will rouse himself for you, not against you. So it's kind of, Job, you was doing something wrong. You may not admit it to us, but we know you were doing something wrong.
That's right. I have a commentary here, so I'm not reading, scripture word for word here, but mine says that Bildad guarantees that if Job does these things, God will turn him over and bless him. And I'm like, that's strong words for somebody that doesn't know what's going on, and you're accusing me of my child going wayward, and that's why they died, but you can guarantee that God will be there for you. I'm like, that's
yeah. Well, verse 6 and 7, if you are pure and upright, surely he will rouse himself for you and restore your rightful habitation.
Yep.
So, and that's kind of going back to, again, the accusatory thing of restore your rightful habitation. Like, you used to be good. You did something. So God came against you.
Yeah.
But if you get away from that bad stuff, he's going to restore you back. And verse 7, though your beginning was small, your latter days will be very great.
Yeah.
Job was the biggest, baddest dude in the East, but he's saying that was small. He said, Job, you wasn't nothing, man.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked about a question we had of, the level of these three friends that came to see him, and we kind of Ty Dean dropping a gift off here.
It's nice right there.
Running.
Sour warheads.
Who's going to eat one of those on air?
Easy.
Not me.
Yeah, Zach will with his Mountain Dew.
Do you have any on there?
No, I don't.
Zach was rocking some root beer earlier.
I was.
Where were we? Verse 7. Oh, we were talking about, social status of Job versus his three friends. This kind of reiterates for me that they were kind of on the same. These had to be guys of higher standing. Just kind of the way they talk of, look, you were small before, but you're going to be restored to greatness if you turn away from the evil. Class hangs out with class a lot of times.
Oh, for sure.
That's why I'm here with Brandon.
Wow.
I mean, I think it just
Goodness gracious.
I'm on the low end of the table. I'm trying to work my way up these three steps here.
I'm under the table.
Goodness.
How is it, Zach?
It's excellent. Excellent. You like sour candy?
Man, I mean, I don't know. It's
That's a simple yes or no.
I got some speaking I got to do here on a podcast for at least another
That might provide entertainment.
25 minutes. And I was hoping you would do so. I kind of turned back to the conversation and didn't watch you put it in your mouth there when
all
you
good.
ate
Here.
the candy.
Oh, boy.
Well,
There
see
you
what
go.
flavors we got here. Watermelon. I'm going watermelon.
Don't be picky. Just
Sour.
start.
No, I mean, it's already sour, right? So I don't want to go with lemon flavor
Oh, you might as well.
on top of the sour.
If you're going to go big.
Watermelon.
It's multiple. Just keep going.
Oh, man.
Yeah, all right. How many you think you can?
Oh, boy.
More than you.
No. Let's start with 5.
There we go.
You need a water.
I got some right here.
All right. Just checking on you.
Now you might just hear me eating candy in the microphone. I don't know.
It goes away real fast. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Black cherry. Try that. Blue raspberry. I might try that later. Man, it goes away fast. It's coming on now.
Brandon, you want in on that?
I'm going to take one. I'm not going to eat right now.
Yeah,
but
you might be.
take one.
Smartest one in the bunch.
Well, I mean, hey.
Watermelon.
Might be the oldest.
Wow. I know that's for a fact. 100%. I'm the oldest in this
You
group
are?
here.
No, you're not.
Yes, sir. I'm almost positive I am.
Almost positive.
I don't think you are, Brandon.
1974. Yes, I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest.
Really?
I always remembered yours by mine, and then we turn the like you're on the zeros, right? So when I turn 40, you'll turn.
You're the
50?
fourth or fifth. What? You're the fourth.
You surviving over there?
Oh, it's
You're
good now.
You're very youthful, Brandon.
Thank you. Well,
What year were you born?
84. Big 39 in a month or so. Farno.
good old days.
Nice. It was.
He's still in his 30s
Can't even remember back that
for
far.
over another year.
It's impressive. It's good.
But I hadn't had a male in my family make it to mid 70s, so like I'm coming down
You're on the
real
back end.
hard.
You're on the
Coming hard,
back
real
nine. Back nine.
hard. Amanda
Making a
reminds me.
turn. Making a turn.
It's like, yeah, but modern medicine, you're gonna be the first one to do it. And I'm like, honey, have you seen what I go to bed to with that 6-pack of Mountain Dew and that row of Oreos?
Bags of.
Yeah,
of
there we go.
sour
Yeah.
Warheads, just whatever.
Hey.
I will say, I don't know about Ty Dean thinking he can just, bust in here every week.
Yeah, second time he's done that. I think he needs
Yeah.
some talking
He
to.
did
probably,
it. He did it twice
Yeah,
last week.
yeah, just rolled in. Not even
that's-
not even a courtesy, just a courtesy knock and like a peek through. Just
We got to put
Come in swinging.
yeah,
the recording light, on air light outside the door now.
Absolutely.
put a lock on that bad boy.
Yeah. So getting back to Job after that 3-minute diversion.
It's a good diversion, though.
So Bildad, I'm skipping ahead to verse 20 here. Behold, God will not reject a blameless man, nor take the hand of evildoers. So kind of that accusatory theme continues. Like,
Sure.
you're doing something wrong, man.
You must have done something wrong.
You must have done something wrong. God would not come against you or allow evil to come against you if you weren't.
My version says he will not support evildoers, which is, I read that too yesterday. It was kind of slap you in the face.
Exactly. And Job decides he wants a rebuttal. So he comes back. We're going to verse 9. Look at that. Made it through verse 8 that quick. Chapter 8 that quick.
We are flying by, boys.
Yeah. With the diversion.
Blame Ryan for our slow speed.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Talked about his deceptive speed on the softball field.
Oh, boy.
He did.
Deceptively slow in the Bible study.
gosh.
Ryan, sorry, buddy, you're not here for this abuse that you're taking.
Can't defend himself. He's just
He takes like the hardest shots when he's not here.
But it's so easy.
He takes some hard shots when he's here. We don't air all of them.
But this is true. This is
That's
true.
that blooper reel is full of Ryan. So.
It is.
It is.
It is. It is.
Not everything makes the blooper reel. Some stuff gets cut out that you got to be in the room for.
That's right. Privileged.
Somebody brought up the idea of us telling people when we normally record, giving out a phone number, and hey, if you want to call in and be part of the conversation. You're just not going to know what the conversation is. Except something like this, if we're doing Job for a few weeks in a row, they would know. But
that's true.
I like the subscription model better. Some revenue stream there.
Well, set that up for us, Zach. See if Andrew has a line on something for us that he can. Job comes back in chapter 9. Truly, I know that it is so, but how can a man be in the right before God? If one wished to contend with him, one could not answer him once in 1,000 times. Job's kind of coming out with the, this is my, chapter 9 is kind of Job saying, I know I'm right, or I think I'm right. I believe I'm right, but I can't say I'm right against God. I can't go against him. He knows more than I do, but I still think I'm right, but I can't argue against him. And several examples of that through chapter 9, how he's going, comparing himself, his way of thinking to God's way of thinking.
Especially after you've had two buddies now come to you saying you're doing something wrong, but I know differently. But it still makes it hard when you've got friends, the peer pressure of maybe they know more than I do. So
yeah, Job is still holding pretty strong right here, and bringing a case to be. It's like the cross examination in the courtroom. They bring up their facts, and it's like, well, that's what you think, but here's the truth, kind of deal. Verse 11. Behold, he passes me by, and I see him not. Job's talking about God.
Yeah.
He passes me by. I see him not. He moves on, but I do not perceive him. That's kind of I used to have a close relationship with God, and now I don't even think he's near me. People have that. We have that throughout our lives where we feel like God's not very close to us in that period of time. Yeah. I may be praying and I don't even think he's listening. Like he doesn't even hear me talking at the moment, kind of deal. So, that's very relatable, I think, to a lot of people.
Especially when you're praying and not getting your way.
Not getting answers.
Yeah, not getting an answer just like that.
We all want that instant gratification, right? And when we don't see it in our time, we think, oh, he's not listening. That's the first thing you jump to.
Yeah.
Right after that, Job says, who will say to him, who will say to God, what are you doing? Kind of the same thing. Our prayers go unanswered. And God, I know you are over everybody, but did you forget about me? What are you doing up there that you don't have time for me? God will not turn back his anger. Beneath him bowed the helpers of Rahab. Anybody know about Rahab? I looked this one up.
I read a little bit of it down here in the commentary.
What's it say?
So it's about something out of a sea monster.
So it goes back. It had in the beginning, we had that what was Leviathan
Or 11.
Yeah.
11. No, it might be.
Yeah.
I might be butchering that word.
But this is the same thing. So this is could be that same thing, but it's also just an analogy. There's another word.
Yeah.
Just for a evil, someone coming against you that is totally evil.
Shocked that you have that many notes.
Well, it's not that I wrote these notes. I printed them off. But somebody else smarter than me, a whole lot smarter than me, wrote these notes. But I read something about that.
So a couple commentaries here. This is Eliot's commentary for English readers. No idea where that came from, but that's what it is.
From Eliot.
Rahab could have been Egypt or a poetical name for the lost archangel. That was his take. There's a probable allusion to the overthrow of Pharaoh and his host, but they lack evidence to make it plain. And then something else Eliot said in his commentary. Now it's going to bother me who that. That's not even Eliot. That's Ellicott's. Anyway.
I feel like Ryan is right here with us.
It is.
How would you say Ellicott?
Definitely not Elliot.
Definitely not.
Definitely not Eliot.
Yeah, that's one thing it's not.
One C too many for Elliot.
Yeah.
One C too many. The C silent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silent C.
But the probable allusion here for the phrase is evidently used as expressing the very ideal of strength. The race of giants. So you're going against a strong opponent.
He said one of those said archangel. Was that
Yeah.
one?
I think we might be missing some stuff here. It does say, see Isaiah 30, chapter 30, verse 7, or Psalm 87:4. But I think that's just, it says the helpers of Rahab again in those passages.
87:4, is that what you said?
Psalm 87:4.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it says, I will mention those who know me, Rahab, Babylon, Philistia, Tyre, and Cush. Each one was born there.
My commentary says Rahab is a poetic name for Egypt.
And this commentary that it says Rahab, the mythical dragon, like chaos monster.
Dragon-like
Monster.
chaos monster. So this is this is Benson's commentary. So they are fitly called proud helpers because it is a most proud, insolent, and presumptuous act to oppose themselves to the Lord God Almighty. So anyway, that was a kind of a throwback there. The Rahab was kind of going back to previous things. Job is painting a picture here of going against a large, evil enemy, right? And just the biggest enemy that he could describe. That's what I'm up against here. Somebody that's bigger than that. God's wrath is upon me, and God's wrath is so much bigger than anything else we could go against. Verse 22 of chapter 9, it is all one. Therefore I say he destroys both the blameless and the wicked.
Mm-hmm.
So Job is continuing in his, I'm innocent. I haven't done anything wrong, but God is still choosing to go against me. He goes against the blameless and innocent and the wicked.
Yeah, mine says perfect and the wicked, the blameless. Yeah.
Verse 29 says, I shall be condemned. Why then do I labor in vain? I wash myself with snow and cleanse my hands with lye, yet you will plunge me into a pit. I mean, all the examples of, I've done nothing wrong, there's nothing I can fathom. And we're going to get to another quote here in a minute where he kind of is asking for, just show me what I've done. But just I'm being wrongly convicted and serving punishment I don't deserve.
Well, you mentioned talking about the pit. Mine says a pit of mud. I don't know what. And then it says, my own clothes despise me. Wow.
And I don't know if that's has to do with the sores and stuff on his body. If he's has clothes on and, they cause pain because of all the sores on his body. Sometimes if you get a sunburn, right, just wearing a shirt or whatever,
touching it,
touches it and makes it painful, makes everything worse. I don't know if that's a kind of throw to that or not, but
comment below. Let us know.
Absolutely.
That's right.
All you Job experts.
Amanda and Lori.
Yeah. We won't mention last names, but
they know.
They know who they are.
Verse 32, chapter 9 says, for he is not a man. Job is talking about God. He is not a man as I am, that I might answer him, that we should come to a trial together. There is no arbiter between us who might lay his hand on us both. So Job is saying, I think I'm right, but I have no way to present myself, in my case, against God in his case, because there's nobody that can mediate between us. So even though I feel like I'm innocent, I can't go against God. He is still greater than I am. There's nobody that can be an arbiter for God.
This thing that I printed out says there was Job was talking about it. He said there's the fact that there is no umpire between him and God. Kind of like the way they use that. No umpire there.
That's a great analogy for today. Chapter 10, man, look at that. We're hitting the 25% mark, Zach.
Moving right along.
Does it seem good to you? This is Job still talking. He's continuing in his reply to Bildad. Does it seem good to you to oppress, to despise the work of your hands, and favor the designs of the wicked? Verse 2, I will say to God, do not condemn me. Let me know why you contend against me. Does it seem good to you to oppress, to despise the work of your hands, and to favor the designs of the wicked? So Job is now kind of goes into a questioning God mode. He kind of, chapter 9, he goes into, I'm innocent, but I can't compare myself to God. Chapter 10, he goes into kind of questioning God and why am I going through this? And, why are you condemning me, God? Why are you going to oppress something that you created and you designed?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, this is going down to verse 9. Remember that you have made me like clay, and will you return me to the dust? Did you not pour me out like milk and curdle me like cheese? You clothed me with skin and flesh and knit me together with bones and sinews. So he's like, you're tearing down what you created.
Correct.
Why would you do? He puts an earthly spin on it, an earthly perspective in how we try to process things.
But he walks it back at the end here.
Yeah. He tries to. We've got 20 more chapters or so of walking forward and back.
No,
but
just in chapter 10.
Chapter.
Yeah, chapter 10. Yeah, verse 20, are not my days few? Then cease and leave me alone. I mean, he does walk it back a little, but it's still the accusatory towards God now.
Mm-hmm.
Are not my days few? Then cease and leave me alone, that I may find a little cheer before I go, and I shall not return to the land of darkness and deep shadow.
Never to return.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true, but that's...
Yeah. Saying he wouldn't go to heaven?
I think he's talking about
or is he saying
his earthly
that part
condemnation.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Are not my days few? My days on the earth, my days in this body, in this life. And I think he talks about that in another chapter or two. We'll get to that. So chapter 10, the heading is a plea to God. Job is making a plea to God. It took him 20 verses to kind of get to the plea, but it's kind of accusing God a little bit of why would you do this to your creation before he gets down to the, just leave me alone. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's move on to the next phase.
But he comes back at the end of that and says, God has been good in creating him. He's been blessed in all the ways earlier in his life. And so it's almost like he remembers the good things, even though he's just went through these bad and, bringing up why me, right? but he recalls all the blessings that he got earlier, as a way that a full circle.
Everything came. Yeah, like you said, full circle.
And we do that too. Something good or something bad will happen. We remember the good times. Man, God did carry me through that, but He ain't helping me now. Like, I'm still in a bad way, and I think He forgot about me. I remember that good stuff, but man, I wish I could get through this right now.
No different.
It's funny how we do that too, knowing He's carried us through stuff before, and we still get so stuck on what's happening in this moment, knowing that He has something planned for us that we don't even know about.
Living today, right? You forget about all the blessings that come before and that will come, but we're in the woe's me of right now. Right now,
it's like your memory just goes to nothing whenever you're walking through a valley.
Yeah, and I think part of this, Job is trying to talk himself into remembering what God has done for him, to get away from the suffering side of it and to get away from accusing God, looking at the bad side, all that kind of stuff. He's trying to remember
that He blessed him,
that he's been blessed his whole life.
Yep.
Well, friend number 3, Mr. Zophar, decides he needs to.
He's waited a long time.
He has waited a long time.
Just think of him. Just think if you're Zophar. You're just sitting there. You just wait. You're just sitting there, just taking it.
Yeah,
just taking it all. You've heard your friends come in, and Eliphaz has said his piece, and then, yeah.
Zophar comes in a little hot too.
Yes, he does.
He holds nothing back here.
Yes, he does. You'll say it, but that end line of part 6 of verse 6. Says God has even forgotten some of your sin. that is pretty. Goodness gracious.
Mine says overlook.
Yeah.
God has chosen to overlook some. Thank you.
Yeah.
My goodness.
No. Yeah. 3 different translations. That's good. Know then that God exacts of you less than your guilt deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Coming in there. Zophar is coming in. I'm going to read some of what he says here.
Yeah,
verse number 2. Oh, no, that's great. Should a multitude of works go unanswered and a man full of talk be judged right? Straight out of the gate, he's accusing them. You've done something.
Right.
Are we going to just overlook all the works that you've done and just listen to the words of your mouth? Are we going to judge you off what you say and not what you do? I say, are we going to judge? Is God going to judge you off what you say and not what you do? Should you? I don't know what your translation says. Well, verse number 3.
Yeah.
Should your babble silence men?
Mine says babbling.
Mine says idle talk.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, I like ours better.
They're all pretty.
Spot on.
Pretty harsh, I guess. Should your babble silence men, and when you mock, shall no one shame you?
Mm-hmm.
For you say, my doctrine is pure, and I am clean in God's eyes. But oh, that God would speak and open His lips to you. He's pretty much saying, I wish I could see this show. But oh, that God would speak and open His lips to you, and that He would tell you the secrets of His wisdom, for He is manifold in understanding. Know then that God exacts of you less than your guilt deserves. Can you find out the deep things of God? Can you find out the limit of the Almighty? He's coming in he's kind of like Brandon said, or Fano said, like, he's waited his turn, and now he's coming with a bat in each hand swinging.
Yeah.
He's got some good friends.
This may be the accountability group of all accountability groups. So you ain't getting by nothing with these guys.
No, they're coming right back. I mean, right back to him.
Can you find out the deep things of God? It is higher than heaven. What can you do? So, talking about the limits of God, God has no limits. It's higher than heaven. What can you do, Job?
Mm-hmm.
Deeper than Sheol, what can you know? So, like, you feel you're in the right, but you don't know nothing. You can't understand what God knows. You can't understand anywhere close to his depth of knowledge. It's higher than heaven, deeper than Sheol. You can't compare yourself and your knowledge to his. Verse 12, we'll compare translations again here. Verse number 12. But a stupid man will get understanding when a wild donkey's colt is born a man.
Mine says stupid man.
Mine says witless.
Witless.
Oh, good.
Witless is pretty good.
Witless.
But the witless can no more become wise than a wild donkey's colt can be born human.
Huh.
Yeah, they're all right. Witless, stupid. I mean, we all fit those categories sometimes.
Yeah.
Every day. Every
Multiple
day.
times.
And if you don't believe me, just ask my wife.
We tried. She didn't want to come on the air. She didn't want to come help us out with Job. If iniquity, this is verse 14, if iniquity is in your hand, put it far away, and let not injustice dwell in your tents. So this is Zophar kind of accusing Job and then telling him, look, man, you need to turn. Surely then you will lift up your face without blemish. You will be secure and will not fear. So he's saying, put away all this stuff. Put away your own knowledge. Put away the stuff you've been doing, and it's going to be all right. God's going to come back to you, but you gotta admit that you've been doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. Verse number 20, he wraps it up. But the eyes of the wicked will fail. All way of escape will be lost to them, and their hope is to breathe their last.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he kind of says...
Thanks so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look here, Job, you can turn around, and God's going to come back to you. But if you continue your wicked ways, you will fail. And you got no hope but to die. Who needs enemies with friends like this?
But he responds.
He does. He responds for a couple chapters.
It does.
That may be a good place to wrap it up, boys, because Job comes back with a reply, and it's a rather lengthy one.
I think it's about 3 chapters.
Yes, sir.
Maybe a little bit longer.
Yes, sir, it is.
We've kind of seen the other 2 friends chime in on this one and kind of come at Job. We made it through chapter 11 there, Zach. I mean, we're
Boom. Making headway.
25%. Yeah. So, join us again next week. We're going to jump right back in. We're going to pick up in chapter 12, and Job has a lot to say. And he comes, kind of fires back.
He's pretty direct.
He's pretty direct. So don't miss it. Come on back if you ever want to try it again.
Nice song lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say. That was pretty good.
You don't want to finish that?
No.
I done told you once. No.
We're going to break a little bit of tradition we've had the last couple weeks, and we're going to go outside the book of Job for our closing Bible verse. This is from 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13 and 14. Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong.
Mm-hmm.
Let all that you do be done in love. I mean, I don't know if you have to confront a friend about something they may be doing, but do it in love. Don't assume you're right. Don't assume they're wrong.
Don't come at him like Zophar.
Don't come at them like Zophar and
Or Bildad.
Bildad, and Eliphaz may be in that train too.
Yeah.
So.
His looks light compared to Bildad. And
Oh, yeah. Like you said, Zophar waited his turn.
He was taking notes in the ashes over there.
That's for sure.
Well, just wait. I've been waiting a week for this. Here we go. But we hope you are enjoying this study of Job with us. We're going to pick it up again next week. Pick up there in chapter 12. Chapter 12, we'll make it, at least through, 14, 15,
His
16,
response.
20. Yeah. never know.
Right.
We're going to. We may be halfway done after next episode. That's good, man. If we get 5, 6 episodes, I think that's all right for a book like Job.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Kind of deep.
Yeah. It kinda. Sir, it is. It's
Yeah.
about as deep as it.
Well, I guess I think before we get through this episode, since it's going to be aired after the Final Four games, I think we ought to say who we're going to be cheering for this weekend.
Predictions.
Little predictions.
Interesting.
That's good. So I'm going to say I'll go for the underdog, FAU.
Oh, that hype video.
For nothing but the hype video they released.
Yeah.
Did I send that to you?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seinfeld. I mean, come on.
Oh, that was maybe the best hype video I've ever seen.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that, Google FAU Seinfeld hype video.
Because it's on
is
there.
Great.
It's
If-
good.
I mean, if
So
you're
you're
not
going-
a fan of Seinfeld, you may not.
So who's on that side? FAU.
You're going to FAU to win it all?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. All right.
That's
Well,
FAU
yeah.
against who are they?
I'm sure they're
There's- I
the
think
underdog
they're
of the
San
Final
Diego
Four.
State.
San Diego State.
Yeah. And then
And then it's
5-9.
UConn and
UConn and Miami.
Miami.
The U. Bono?
I'm going with Blue Bloods, man. I'm going with UConn.
Going with
They're the
UConn.
only one remaining. I guess they're Blue Blood. Kinda.
They're the
They
closest
would be
thing to
considered.
one. for
Closest
sure.
thing. I
For-
mean,
out of
they
this
got-
group, for sure.
They have those. You got those bodies, man. Those big bodies, and they
Yeah.
just look like they're on a mission.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them do at this point. But my goodness,
Sure.
I have zero inclination that FAU is really going to win. It's based solely off the Seinfeld hype video.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
That's the
Understood.
reason they get my pick. They
Understood.
did such a great
Nice.
job.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nice.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I'm going because I can't cheer for UConn. Just because being a Lady Vol fan, you cannot cheer for UConn.
Understand.
So,
Understand.
sorry, that's just the way it is. So I'm going with the U. I'm going with Miami to win it all.
Wong.
They've got some.
That Wong can.
They
got
can,
athletes.
They've
That
got
dude.
athletes. I love their coach too.
Yeah.
Boy can't dance, but
Is he the oldest coach still in there?
That
he
dance
has
was awesome.
got to be the oldest coach in there.
Yeah, that dance was awesome.
Very nice.
So I'm going the U.
Yeah.
See if they can pull it out.
Yeah.
So Zachary,
Yeah, I can't go for the U. So I'm going for UConn.
going for UConn.
I thought you might go ahead and pick we've picked 3 of the 4. I thought you might want to just round it out. That way one of us wins.
I don't feel like San Diego State's got it. So
Yeah.
I'm not going up against FAU, of course not.
No. I'm actually hoping it's FAU and UConn, so then UConn can walk through it.
Oh, they'll definitely. Yeah.
It's been a good. I mean,
been a
it really
tournament.
has.
been a great tournament.
It's been. I don't really care that
Been
it's
turned
not,
on its head since day
yeah,
one.
I don't care that it's not
Oh, yeah.
Kansas, Alabama. That doesn't bother me. I just want good games,
Yeah, I think it's going to be two
coaching
good
and
ones.
everything like that. It's been good, and it's,
I don't know if the
it's
city of
been
Houston is happy.
they're
that-
not.
I mean,
I'd
they're
say they're a
not
little
very
upset.
happy,
I saw
especially
that.
since when Texas got beat, and then
Yeah.
obviously when Houston got beat.
Yes.
But Texas,
Yeah.
when they got beat
Mhm.
Saturday, whenever they were like, "Dadgummit."
Have you seen the average price of tickets?
No, I'm sure it's cheap.
So you can sit lower level $79 right now
Oh my
Wow.
for a Final Four.
You can just get whatever you
Wow.
want.
You just get whatever you want
Get
there.
whatever you want to, man.
god, they're
It'd be like going to like a no, not a Grizzlies game anymore.
no,
Maybe a Vandy game.
Maybe a
maybe
Down courtside.
yeah.
They're losing all their
Vandy-
players too.
Like a Vandy LSU game or something. Yeah, they are taking a hit.
But they've got to be hating it,
Yeah,
to get the Final Four, and then they
especially the whole
get these 4 teams.
the whole city probably like what they had.
And they had a
Oh,
shot to
because-
have a number 1 seed be there. And
Mhm. Yeah,
and now you end up with
Yeah.
a 9 and a 5.
Yes.
Two
UConn's a 4 and
Yeah.
Miami's a
Miami's
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
There's our predictions. We'll see if they are correct or not. Let us know who you think might take it. When's this air?
Respond.
When's the games?
Saturday and Monday.
All right, so
This
this
weekend.
will
Yeah.
be out after the games are over. So
Probably. We'll see.
send it in, and if you tell us your guess, we won't know if you cheated or not. So Go ahead and
Well,
let us know.
I think it would. Doesn't it show the?
Well, I mean, we would
date
know
that
what
they post?
date they
Yeah, I was
post.
gonna say.
But this doesn't come out until Wednesday.
You are right.
I mean, Monday
Monday.
after the
So it'll
weekend.
be,
so.
yeah.
Right.
Well, that'd be the night of the game, right?
That'd be
That'd
the
be
night
the
of,
night of the
night of the
game.
national
Yeah,
championship.
That morning.
But
They'd have to.
you can pick the championship game, not the Final Four game.
That'd be
so.
good. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the text to come through. Nope, hadn't got it yet. That Edson Manor is going to be open for the Final Four viewing party there.
My house is always open.
Yeah, it is.
It's a revolving door.
Definitely is.
Glad you joined us. Part number 3 of Job. Hey, you only got to wait one more week for part number 4. So
Maybe y'all have us back.
Maybe so.
I mean, y'all did such a great job today. I think we just keep the same crew.
High probability.
Very, very high. Very
High
high.
probability.
So
Let's put a wager on that.
100%. I'm betting
All
these
in.
3
Put them
airheads.
all in. Put them all in.
It's all my chips right there.
I got the whole bag.
All in.
Whatever a red,
All in.
blue, and green airhead are worth, that's what you got.
Gotcha.
But thanks for listening. You know we love you. God loves you more. We'll see you again next week.
Thanks for listening to GPS to God. Make sure you leave a rating or review on whichever app you happen to use. Also find us on YouTube and be sure to subscribe to our channel.